Okay, this next exercise is going to be all about fonts. So we're going to display, let me put up here the figure. We're going to display a text in the middle of our pane here as a label. And we are going to have a few controls around here that are going to allow us to change the font size, to change the font name, okay, the type of font that we are using, and to optionally set the text to be bold, italic, both at the same time, or none of these, okay? So it's we're like usual, we're going to start with the layout. Okay, we're going to start with setting up the layout, and then we are going to hook our control here that allow us to modify this label in the middle based on whether we check those boxes or select different items in the font name and font size combo boxes. So that's going to also give us an opportunity to play with a new widget, a new user interface control, the combo box. All right, so let's go back to our, as we do usually, to our basic template, okay? And we are going to call this font playground. So change the name of the class here, save the file as we usually do. Fonts playground, there we go. So let's make sure that this compile. Yeah, okay, there we go. So now we're going to start setting the layout of our application. So we are going to put a lot of things in fields. So let's get started with, and this is really something that I should put inside the template at this point, because I keep adding it every time. So feel free to put it inside of your JavaFX template. All right. So I'm talking about the pane width and pane height, the overall pane here, and I'm going to immediately go here, and I'm going to set the pane width and pane height here. Okay, there we go. Pane width, pane height. Get rid of that. Okay. Compile real quick. All right, so now that I have this out of the way, let's think a little bit about what we need. So we need a label. So let's go for it. Label, we're just going to call it label. That's going to be, well, it's not going to be the only label, but that's going to be the main label in our application. So programming is fun is the text we want in that label. So let me add here our control. So I'm going to do import javafx.scene.control.label. Okay, and I'm going to try to add those things as we go. So compilation is okay. I know that I'm going to need 2 combo boxes and 2 checkboxes as well. So I'm going to add all of these just like I did for my label. Okay. So combo box, I'm going to add them as field. So the first combo box is going to contain string object. Okay, we are going to call it font name. So combo box font name, CBO font name, and we are going to create it here. The second combo box is going to be a combo box of integer value. That's going to be CBO font size. Okay, and we are going to create our combo box right here as well. There we go. So we have our 2 combo box. Now we need our 2 checkbox, and then I'm going to add the appropriate imports. So the first checkbox is going to allow us to say whether we want the text to be in bold or not. And I'm going to get lazy and do a little bit of cut and paste oriented programming here. Italic equal new checkbox, and then italic here as well. Okay, so let's see, we have our label, we have our 2 combo box, so we are going to have to add like labels in front of the combo box to say, you know, this is a font size selection, this is a font family selection. Then we have our 2 checkboxes. So we have pretty much all of our control here, but we need to add, obviously, I should have done that before to compile, that was pointless. Let's see. So combo box, let's add our imports. Combo box is one of them. Checkbox is the second one that I used. we have already label. Okay, so this is compiling. I could run it real quick, but really this is not going to do anything because I didn't create any pane that contains those control. Okay, so this is going to be my next step. I'm going to start working on actually creating all the series of panes, etc. that we need. So let's start with our label. So we are going to say I need a border pane, and actually I'm going to use pane here. Why not? There we go. That's going to be my top level border pane. So I have border pane equal new border pane. I'm going to set the label as the center of this border pane. So I'm referring here to my field label that I defined here. Okay. So now let's take care of our combo boxes. So we are going to first use a method named getFamilies from the font class to get all the available fonts that we have, and we're going to put that in a list of strings. So our variable is going to be font names, and as I said, I'm going to call getFontFamilies from the font class, so it's a static method. Okay, now once we have this, we can go to our combo box widget, and we can say, okay, give me the collection of all the items, and I'm going to add to that collection all the strings that I found by looking up font.getFamilies. All right, so this is the first step, and then CBO font name.setValue. We need a default value to be selected, right? So that default value is going to be the first one that is in the font names list. So that takes care of initializing our combo box. Okay, our combo box for the font name. Now, for the combo box that corresponds to the size, it's going to be even easier than this. We are going to simply say, here's a loop from size 1 to 100. Okay, so I represent a potential size, and then we are going to add to that combo box CBO font size. We are going to get all the items, okay, and we are going to add one by one item index I. So we add numbers 1 to 100, and then once we are done with that, CBO font size set value, just like we did before, we set the default value, the default pre-selected value to be 1. Okay, we could set something a little larger actually, but doesn't matter. Okay, so now that we have all of those different elements, we are going to find them a house. So we are going to say, give me a new edge box. All right, and then we're going to put things inside this edge box. So and little typos here. Okay, a bunch of them. Okay, so here's my edge box. So how do you add things? Always get children, add all, and I'm going to do things in this order. I'm going to add a label first that says this is a font name. So this label is going to stand right before the combo box. After this label, I'm going to add my combo box, and then I'm going to do the same thing right after it, font size, and then here comes my combo box for the font size. All right, so we have 2 labels, we have 2 combo boxes. Okay, not bad. I think we are set here. I'm going to put this here so that the indentation clearly shows what we're doing. What else? So we are done with putting all of this in an edge box. That's fine. Now we need to do some alignment and make sure that this edge box appears somewhere. So the alignment is going to be easy. Pos.center. So I need to add a JavaFX geometry pos to my import, and then I'm not going to do it right now, otherwise I'm going to lose the flow. And then I'm going to add my edge box to the top of my pane. Okay, and my pane was the border pane defined here. So let's take a break here and go adjust a little bit our import. So I just said I need javafx.geometry.pos. Okay, I need a few more things, I think. Border pane, yeah. What else? That's it. Get font, get family. Yeah, no, list. Okay. All right. So let's add those. Import java.util.list. Okay. And then I talked about border pane, I think. So in layout, do I have any other layout here? I should have pane. There we go. So I'm going to add border pane here. Border pane, there we go. What else? What did I forget? Edge box, okay. So we can add this as well here. That's going to be another layout. Okay. What else? Font. Okay, so font, which one is it? That's going to be JavaFX scene.text. So let's go here. Scene.text.font. Okay. And that's pretty good. Okay, so we are not yet to the point. I don't think we're to the point where we can display, right? Well, yes, we should be able to display something. It's just not going to be finished. Okay, so label is in the middle. Okay, we have a combo box that has been populated with all the available font names. We have the size here that is also allowing us size 1 to 100. Okay, so we are in good way now. We need to take care of let's see, we need to take care of our checkboxes next. So let's go there. So we are here at the point of the code where we took care of our first edge box. Well, let's get another edge box. We are going to call it quite originally edge box 2. We are going to create the edge box object here, do a get children, and we are going to add to it our chk bold and chk italic object that we already created. Okay, these are fields. Set alignment, post.center, and then pane dot, and this time instead of set top it's going to be set bottom edge box 2. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Should not have any problem there. There we go. So we have checkboxes now that are, obviously we don't have any event handler for any of this. Okay, every time we select something, the widget behaves as you would expect, but nothing is updated here. So our next step, once we are, as usual, once we are done with the layout, we are going to dig into the event handlers. Okay, so that's the next thing we are going to implement now. So let's go after we show our primary stage. And so we need 4 event handlers, 2 for the combo boxes, 2 for the check boxes. All right, so let's start with the combo box. CBO font name set on action, and we're going to specify here our lambda expression, and I'm going to use a method we are going to write. Okay, set font, and I'm going to simply call set font and then be done with my event handler. So it's really minimal, right? It's ridiculously minimal, actually. But the idea is that the combo boxes are capable already by themselves to, how to say, to select an element and keep track of which element has been selected. Okay? So when we say CBO font name, set on action, really we don't have to worry about all this selection of what item in the list you click and stuff like that. No, all we have to do is call a method, and this method is going to query the widget itself, so one of the 2 combo box, and check what was selected and update the font in the label accordingly. Okay, so that's why we can hook the same event handler here every time. And actually we can do the same thing for check bold. Okay, so I'm going to just cut and paste again, be lazy here. So I just need to change the name here of the widget, check box, check bold, sorry, but set on action. And similarly, again, last one, I can do check italic. So it's pretty much the same event handler that is going to be applied every time something changes, okay? You just have to look up in the widgets themselves what changed. So we're going to need a private void set font. So private again, because we are using that only in the implementation of this class, okay, in the event handlers. So what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to modify potentially the font weight, okay. We are going to potentially make it italic, make it regular, make it bold, okay. We're going to potentially modify the font of the label and the font size. So let's get started with the end, pretty much, of our method, which is going to be, I want to set the font, and I'm using the method font, static method font from the class font with an uppercase F. So I want to set the font to a certain font value, okay, which is specified by my combo box font name, and I use the get value method from the combo box. I'm going to have a weight, I'm going to have a posture, and I'm going to have a combo box font size here that I get from by coding value on the combo box font size object, okay? So I have two things that I pull directly from the combo box widgets. And then I have this posture and weight. So let's see what we can do about that. Indentation is having a little bit of issues here. Never mind. We'll fix that at the end. So font weight. So to determine the font weight, we're going to look at our check bold checkbox, and we are going to call is selected. We want to know if the user wants us to put our font in bold or not. So if we do want the font to be bold, then weight is going to be equal to font weight dot bold. Easy enough. And I'm going to paste this because if we do not want the font to be displayed in bold, then obviously this is going to be normal. So this is how we toggle on and off the bold property of the font. And similarly, we're going to use a variable posture, okay? And we're going to do the same thing. If checkbox italic, I was going to say posture, is selected, okay, else. So we change accordingly the posture. We set it to font posture dot italic, and if not, we set it to font posture and cut and paste. There we go, regular. And once we have set those two things, then we can call the set font on label. Let's try to compile. Yes, of course, I'm missing a few things here. Cannot find font weight. Okay, fair enough. I didn't import it. And that's it. Now, font weight, font posture. Okay. Then what else? Posture. Yeah, font weight and font posture should be the two things that are missing here. So let me go back to my imports. So these are scene text. So I'm going to get here and cut and paste this thing. So font, what did I say? Posture and weight. So font weight, font posture, and that should take care of all of our compilation errors. Let's run this. So here's the window that we obtain. So let's start with bold. It's not displaying correctly, so there's something wrong here. Let's finish testing to see if this is everywhere. So this is not really working well. Yeah, we are not redisplaying actually. Oh no, wait, we are redisplaying on size 1. That's what the problem is. So I knew I should have taken a default size that was not as ridiculous. Okay, so now that we have an idea of where that's coming from, let's go and fix that. Where did I start this? Let's see. Programming is fun, yes. Font set name. Box. This is it. This is my combo box. So let's say that I take a set value 12 here. Okay, let's try again. Compile. Run. Alright, so yes, I can make that smaller, I can make that larger. I had a default of 12, which was not too bad. Let's make it larger for the sake of testing. So, okay, we have a font that can get bold, that can get italic, that can get both italic and bold, so that's good. Let's say, can we go and search for something that we are familiar with, like Times New Roman? Scrolling. There we go. Times New Roman. Alright. So we can here change the type of font. We can change the size. So everything is actually pretty much done. All the features we needed are actually implemented in this code. So resizing should be also pretty nice. Yeah, there we go. Everything is handled by the border pane. So we are done with this exercise.